Hey everybody, this is Stacking Pennies Iowa edition. A ton to break down, treacherous practices, wild Xfinity races, and a great inaugural Cup Series race from Newton, Iowa in the cornfield. So let's get right into it. This is Stacking Pennies.
Stacking them deep, selling them cheap.
It tastes like gasoline, rubber, and victory.
We're just out here stacking pennies.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Stacking Pennies. Corey LaJoie here alongside big winner chicken dinner Ryan Flores.
Let's go.
You guys have been close but not close enough, and this week you guys got it done. So congratulations.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, we were like a quarter inch at Atlanta, quarter gallon at Gateway. There's a couple more in between there that we feel like we should have won, but
And a quarter second to the good here
yeah,
at Iowa.
yeah, it was good. I was proud of Hassler and Tony Palmer, our engineer. They had a plan on taking rights there. We lost a little bit of track position on pit stop, second to last stop. And
Before we get into the weeds of the race, we got some quick hitters.
oh, let's hear
A
'em.
lot of news leading up into Iowa week. Probably the most newsworthy is MTJ hanging it up.
Yeah.
What'd you think about it?
I mean, I wonder if – so he's a Jersey guy. I've watched his career, race with his cousins. Remember him at Wallace Stadium. Always followed Martin's career closely. I felt like he was one of the, modified guys, especially a Wallace Stadium guy that got a chance at the big time. He had a great Busch career. And then, his Cup career has been a tale of two different careers, really. It was kind of dull. He got that first win at Dover. And then it was kind of dull until he got in that 78.
Business picked up a little bit.
He's still really good.
I think he is very underrated.
I don't know. I just don't. I look back, like you did a show with Rusty Wallace this weekend, and I don't know. I don't know Martin. Like I know Martin a little bit, but I don't know if he's just kind of like over it and wanting to try something new in his life. But I think Rusty talks quite a bit about getting out of the seat too soon. So I wonder if
Rusty got out of the seat when he was like 58.
Yeah, but he
What's
wanted to
too
keep
soon?
doing it. I don't know. He wanted to keep doing it, and Martin seems like he just wants to be on the boat.
Yeah.
So
So we did the group picture that I was
I
looking
saw
at
you
the
were
wrong
standing
camera.
next to him.
I was just chopping up with him. I said, shook his hand. Hey man, well, I don't know what you say. Congrats. I'm jealous. Get well soon. I like have fun. I don't know what you say, but you've earned like all the things. And I was like, would you want to come on the show? He goes, dude, I haven't been to Charlotte in 2 years.
Yeah.
He just flies back to New Jersey. He said he just built a house over by his old man, and he just wants to hang out in Jersey, man.
Yeah, it'd be like all the other rich folk in Jersey live there in the summer and live in Florida in the winter.
Yep. And he probably lives in Florida
Call them
181
snowbirds.
181 days a year, whatever it is.
Yeah. Hey.
He's done pretty good for himself.
Yeah, he's had a great career. He's done well. He still keeps up with all the short track stuff, and he's gotten Ryan in a good position over Gibbs. Ryan's doing well, but I guess he's just over it.
I asked him, like, when did you know for sure? He goes, I've been mulling it over. I said, wasn't when you were just driving your car with the starter across the start-finish line at Sonoma? He was like, the cake was there, but that lit the candles. He said,
I'm done.
he said, I think. Now, a little bit of preview for you guys, a little bit of teaser. Next Monday, we're going to be talking to a fella that's going to have a little bit to say about it as well, and he's going to fill in a lot of the gaps of the rest of the story. So I'm excited for what next Tuesday holds for you guys and the Stacking Pennies.
I think Martin has a good chance to I think this is one of the better chances we've had for somebody to win the championship or
And
go to the
Mike
Final
drop it.
Four and Mike drop it. Because they have a strong team. They have a lot of speed. They've obviously had some dumb stuff happen that's kept them out of victory lane, but that's like the 12 car was that way. Joey was that way. They just got to get hot at the end of the year. And with Toyota being in a little bit of a lull on how bad they ran last night,
They ran real bad.
they're only going to get better when it comes playoff time and be better at these kind of racetracks. So I don't know, man. That 19 team, you don't
You don't count him out.
But what if he wins the championship and he's like, I changed my mind. Like Brett Favre. I'm back. Wait a minute. You can't come back.
I don't think that's an option.
Yeah.
I don't think that's an option. And I don't think for him he really wants it to be an option. I don't think he really cares. But cool to see all the respect and all the support for Martin. My man's been doing it a long time. He's been around the garage a long time. Been a staple in the garage. So it's cool to see him go out in his own terms and his own timing. Not very many people get that opportunity to, and he has earned it as well. Shifting gears from that was Friday. That was Friday. And then we go to practice. We're talking about practice.
Yep.
A lot of right front issues. Saw a left rear issue with the one.
A little misleading.
Which it generally is.
Because you thought that was going to carry over to the race, but it turns out the Xfinity and the Cup issues were very much non-related.
Mm-hmm.
They did not have to do the same thing. The Xfinity tires were blistering and failing. The Cup tires were failing because they were wearing out, but the only reason they would fail would be team-related, running too little air pressure. The juice is worth the squeeze. If you take air out of the tires, the cars go faster.
Yep.
Especially on the left rear or the right front.
Yep.
The problem is
sidewall.
Yep, it blows the sidewall out when you do that.
And I like that. I like that box where the tires shouldn't be bulletproof, because then the teams would just continue to take more and more air.
It's like remember ARCA racing when there was inevitably, like in the mid 2000s, someone would just take off, and be a half second faster in the field, and then 10 laps later their right front would blow and they'd auger it in the fence because they were over cambered.
Well, that's how I felt. Before we get into the race, that's how I felt at one instance of the race when we got spun out there and we were driving back to the field, and I literally passed like 25 cars.
Yeah.
I passed the 11 and I was like, am I at Myrtle Beach that's just like going for it like on lap 10 and everybody else is riding like watching this guy? But then it hung on. I was like, well, I guess I'm going to drive up here and win this damn thing today. Our stuff was pretty good.
Kyle Larson about did.
Yeah.
So, before we get too far in the weeds, that was like everybody looking at that like, okay, this could be another Bristol.
I had a laugh though. I park, so pull in, park in the infield, and the Xfinity garage was where the old K&N garage used to be. And back in the day, they did a ARCA, used to be K&N East and a K&N West combination race. There was like 60 cars. We talked about it on Spare Change this past week. That's where everybody came together, and that's where we were pitted. And there, one of the times we were there, it was hot like it was Sunday, 92, 93.
Nowhere to hide, no shade.
No shade. Wasn't super muggy though, which made it bearable. But it was during practice, so I get there on Friday. I see this area of the garage area that made me laugh because my favorite Iowa memory, it was in the middle of practice of the K&N, and there's hustle and bustle, and everybody's at the back of the trailers and pushing tires, and cars are backing up, and there was a row of about 10 Porta-Johns on the other side. So during practice, the old man's got to poop. So he goes into the Porta-John, and it's so hot inside, he can't keep the door closed. And he's got his leg fanning the door on the Porta-John during practice.
That's such a Randy thing. Does not care.
Literally, like everybody's watching him. He's just like,
and you're in the car?
I was in the car, like looking in the mirror, like, what the hell is he doing? And he comes out just drenched in sweat. He goes, dude, it was like a sauna in there.
Oh my God.
And that row of Porta-Johns was still right there, and that made me crack up.
I was thinking you were going to say somebody hit the row of Porta-Johns during practice.
No, the old man was just fanning it out.
Hey. Big Ran, let it eat.
Yeah, letting it eat. So you mentioned Rusty Wallace we did a Stacking Pennies live.
Do you like podcasting better with Rusty Wallace than you do me?
Absolutely. He's a Hall of Famer.
Thanks, dude.
You're welcome.
That makes me feel great.
No, it was good. Well, when I pulled into the racetrack, I didn't see a Ryan Flores drive, even though I might give you one after you win this week. But I did see a Rusty Wallace drive.
Yeah.
Like the one time when Teddy Christopher said,
where's your grandstands, hey?
Well, this is story time with Corey, guys. So I'll tell you this quick story, and we'll continue with the show. We go to Stafford, my first ever time in a modified, and Teddy Christopher is like Mr. Stafford.
The king.
He's the king. Every SK race, every tour race, you had to beat Teddy Christopher. So my dad, he's like, go down there and talk to Teddy. about how to get around this place. Sure, and he's telling me this, that, and the other thing. And we go first practice, and I think we were second. He was like fourth. So I go to the timing. I go to the NASCAR hauler and grab the printout of the practice.
Because that was before Race Monitor.
Yeah. And I was like, you want me to show you a couple tips around this place or what? And he was like, he didn't get mad. He was just like, Turner, you see that? Wait, you see that over there? And I'm like, yeah. Does that say the Corey LaJoie grandstand? No. That says the fucking Teddy Christopher grandstands.
Where's your grandstand, Tay?
Yeah.
Teddy was always the king.
And I was like, ooh, yeah, that was good.
He was the king of comebacks.
You
And
couldn't ever get him.
Corey got him drunk one time in Atlantic City trying to knock him off his game.
And then he woke up and did 100 push-ups, and he went
went faster than us at practice.
Yeah.
I got to drink some more. Maybe I'll go faster. But anyway.
All right, let's get this train back on the tracks. The Stacking Pennies Live from the NASCAR fan experience was electric.
Yeah, I was bummed I didn't get to come. I wanted to go, but logistically it's tough because I'm not there already, and I got even more FOMO when I saw everybody at Knoxville because I love sprint car racing. That's why I love that we're in Iowa because the fan base is so huge there.
Very energetic.
Well, not just, you talk about Knoxville Nationals. Then you got Boone, Iowa.
Have you ever been there during like a race weekend?
I've never been to Knoxville ever. I wanted to go to the Sprint Car Hall of Fame.
So I've never really understood. I've been to Knoxville when they're just like on like a Thursday when they're not racing, to the National Sprint Car Museum and all that stuff. But when it is a Saturday night and the World of Outlaws are in town and there's like the entire main street's lined with American flags and there's people parked in every square inch of grass for miles.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, okay, I could see how and why the Knoxville Nationals is revered as it is.
The racetrack is badass, but the dirt racing in Iowa, I've learned hanging out with Carl Fredrickson from Speedway Illustrated and getting to know like Corey Drips and all those kind of IMCA guys. Dude, it is deep. Like those guys race hard out there, and the love for motorsports and the passion is awesome. So it's great to be in that market, and I hope that we continue to stay there.
So the fans are passionate about their dirt racing. They're also passionate about NASCAR coming in town, come to find out, because there was, I don't know, 400 or 500 people felt like outside of at the fan stage. Would you say that's probably accurate, Jeff? The entire footprint was packed. Had a good talk with Rusty about how the track kind of came to fruition. He did give me a little bit of piece of information so he said that they got and rounded up. It took $75 million to build the place.
Really?
I did happen to read the story this past week too after I heard that, and NASCAR bought it for 10.
Oh, well, that wasn't great.
Not good for the people that were putting the money in. Good for NASCAR. I'm glad they.
That seems like a deal.
acquired.
$10 million for that place. You see that sick barn dominium that's built like off the backstretch, like they have houses right there.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, that's gonna be loud tonight.
When I was pulling out, they had like this little access road in front of like the motorhomes that were had like tiered.
Yeah.
On the backstretch, I was like, this is a Cup Series track. This is a Cup Series type of event.
1,000%.
It's a cool track. It's got just the prestige of a nice racetrack. Everything went well.
Everybody's excited.
Right?
Yeah,
Let's go.
Dude,
it's a staple.
The race was good.
Yeah.
But before we get out like down the weeds too far,
we're in the weeds currently. We've been in the weeds for 10 minutes.
I respect the hell out of Dale Jr. I respect the hell out of Kevin Harvick. I don't know when the shift this came, but maybe it's the next gen era. Fresh pavement races are better than worn out racetrack races.
Yes.
And like I don't know where I saw Kevin Harvick had a pretty hot take saying this might be the biggest F up of the season. But when you guys have to save tires, any race really where you have to save tires, it's not super interesting to the new race fan. The new race fan wants action. They want it now.
Yeah.
They don't want to have to watch an 80-lap run and see comers and goers. And
explain why you got.
What's one of our worst races of the year?
Richmond,
right? And that's what that is. And it's to the eye test. I mean, it might lose a race, but what made Sonoma better? What made North Wilkesboro better?
I'm with you.
Like, I don't know if it's the next gen car or what, but you guys have to drive the car to the full potential of the tire every lap. And this weekend included was great, and the race was great, and they could pass. And like with us, when we were leading at Gateway, it was challenging. Get to the car, get to lap cars that we were much faster than. You get stuck behind them.
Mhm.
This weekend wasn't the case.
Yeah, you got
ripped
options.
through the field. Kyle Larson ripped through the field. So I would like to put to bed the fact that fresh repaves are bad races. That is bull.
Yeah. Touche. I'd agree, because when you're driving, the tire is on the verge of slip and chatter, much more so than it is at a Richmond where you can just induce a slide, and visually you don't see the big moments. You're not pushing the car 100% because you're trying to keep some heat out of it. You're trying to stay underneath the slip of the tire. When you're at a repave, you have to hammer.
Yeah.
And the only way to pass somebody is to be aggressive and to get it on restarts. And it gives you multiple lanes to be able to go and have equal grip, whether it's bottom or top. So I'm not saying let's get the bulldozer out and pave every single racetrack, but
I wouldn't mind it. Like,
where
I
would you?
don't know.
Oh, I think Richmond should
Richmond needs a
to be.
repave.
The action track is more the snoozer at the moment. So just let's mill that thing down, put a fresh coat of pavement.
No, just pave the corners. Like
the whole,
who cares?
preferably all the lanes.
Why?
All the lanes.
It was fine. Why? It was fine this weekend. Because here's the problem: if you pave all the lanes like Wilkesboro, right, then it's kind of it has potential to be one groove at the top.
Yeah.
So like, there was nothing wrong with that this weekend. I say that from the winner's seat, but still, the fact that you were able to drive up there, pass each other, like,
I thought it was good racing. Give you options.
so why change it? Okay, it doesn't look great. Who cares what it looks like? It's pavement. Like,
I don't know. I don't think we're in the aesthetics business.
no.
From the well, you were competing obviously, but just from the eye test, from the pit box on TV, did it look good?
I didn't care if the asphalt was two different colors.
Yeah, I don't care about that either. But
No.
I'm just talking about
How was it from the
quality
driver's
race.
seat? Looked like it
I think
was,
it was fun.
dude.
I think it was fun. Yeah, because you had to, if you were running the top, you could flirt with the edge of that patch, and there was a little more grip there, but the chances of you slipping your right rear are much higher, and you had to be really particular about your wheel input, because you can bend the tire and swish a tire just to the point where, like Jeff Burton says in qualifying, you're dancing on razor blades. Somebody's going to get cut.
And that's the
I was
thing,
like,
you know.
yeah, it's a good analogy. Jeff.
You guys have to. Everybody's so good, and the teams are so good. You guys have to be able to haul ass the whole race.
Yeah.
As hard as you can go, for it to kind of be pleasing to the new race fan, I believe.
I'd agree with that. So why don't we just get into it and talk about it? Shall we?
Rag drops, and you are backwards. I did not like that right away.
So we started 24th, passed a bunch of cars
On the
got to
top.
probably 17th. Yeah,
So you were running the top of the fresh pavement.
yeah.
This was a triple spire nightmare right here.
Well, where you got the 77, do a 3-lane tank slapper here, into the 71, into my left rear.
I don't want to get too far into the weeds of your team, but I'm going to say this, and we haven't talked about it. It seems like whenever the 7 is in, like whenever you guys are racing around each other or you pass 77, he makes a mistake because he is worried about passing you. I don't want you to get too far down the weeds of that, but that is not the first time he has caused you to be backwards this year.
No,
or
it's
stuffed
not.
you in the fence.
Yeah, no, it's not. But sitting here watching the spin out video, it was easy to lose rear attachment into the corner, especially when you drive it in that deep. That didn't really hurt. It hurt us. It didn't make us any better by no means, but I think our car was pretty good to fire off. We were going 4 wards, and
You were
got turned
4
around.
mile an hour away from crushing your left rear and having a really bad day.
If we hit the left rear tire there, I am absolutely.
If you hit the left rear bumper any harder
Yeah,
and
gets into the
detach
tire.
the crush
Yeah.
panel or anything, you are done.
Yeah.
So like it was.
That's when we'd have some problems. But luckily, you kind of rebound. We'll get into the whole situation of it not cycling. The 47 took one for the entire field and held about 8 to 10 cars who were in front of him the entire race a lap down, which was the right probably thing to do if you're the 47
shout out to him,
bucks.
top 5 for the 47.
Yep.
But the good thing that it did for you is you came in, you put tires on, fixed it, and you ripped back through the field.
Yeah, I think everybody was a bit conservative running the top just because it was a danger zone all weekend, and my stuff fired off really good, had good grip up there, and it was edgy, but you just had to stay under the right rear chatter or else it was a bigger moment. But we drove, I believe, to like 15th from
Dude,
last.
how fun was that? You passed 20 cars?
I passed the 11, and I'm like,
he was having a bad day.
Is he messing with me? Does he know something I don't? Am I going to be the guy that just drives this thing, pile drives it in the fence because I'm pushing the right front off? Like, I don't think I'm pushing the right front off. Am I being punked right now? Why am I passing everybody so fast? That's what I thought.
I'm Ryan Flores. Join Kim Kuhn and myself each and every week at Around the Track. We'll get you ready for the upcoming race weekends from short tracks to the Cup Series, whether you'll be attending in person or watching from home.
Coming your way each week is the best bets to win some easy money and driver suggestions to help pump up your fantasy lineups. Around the Track also tells you what to watch for in the NASCAR Regional Series and which young phenom drivers to keep your eye on.
Plus, our At Traction segment gives you all of the fan activities, concerts, and tailgating fun at the track. Be sure to check out Around the Track each and every Wednesday on NASCAR's YouTube channel.
Caution comes out. We took rights. A couple guys took rights. A couple guys stayed out. The 99 and the 6 stayed out.
Had to fire off on rights.
A little tighter.
Yeah, which is normal.
Yep. But we were able to hang up. If you score it away and let everybody else behind you get, I'm telling you, racing in the top 12.
Are you 5th?
No, I'm on the bottom here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that'd be 5th.
No, I think it was 7th.
7th, okay.
Well, Bradley gets a little squirrely. Put a middle 3, and right here I'm like, okay, I just need to clear him out of 4. And luckily the 24 wiggled and get it, Willie, get out of the way.
That
bottom 3 pounded it in here. Shout out Josh Berry. Several good runs last couple weeks.
Josh Berry 4 team, great job.
Yeah, they were strong. That car was fast. But we were 5th, and then we got to 6th, and then me and Joey rode side by side. 5 and the 12 here, racing hard for the stage win.
And we just watched this clip. So what we were watching for the stage win, right? We drive up there and pass the 5, and in the repave, the 5 gets back to the gas real hard, has a moment, has to lift, right? If it's not repaved like that, you're kind of just sliding together, and you don't have that much commitment on the bottom. That's what is making the racing better. That's why I say, the repaves make the racing better, because you guys are driving the car to the full potential.
Yeah, you're driving it to 99.9% of the tire, because you can make grip, and it's there, and it chatters, and then you're hanging on.
And that's when you see guys also pay the price when you miss it, like the 24 did, where you miss it a little bit, and everybody else goes by on both sides.
Yep. So that was pretty cool. Finished 7th drag race. Joey Logano, I think he was on 4. He got back to 6th. Damn it! I wanted one
stage
more
points for the kid here.
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row.
Let's go.
Stage points last week at Sonoma. So we had a good car. I thought we had a top 12 car. Had it all worked out at this point.
It was big for us to win the stage too, because at this point in the race, we're points racing, right? We're racing for our life, because the chance to make the playoffs is narrowing up.
Yeah,
we're getting into that. We're getting into that time of the year.
Seats are getting taken.
Oh yeah,
especially when you get Austin Cindric taking a seat when he was out. All it takes is 2 or 3 more guys.
99.
Yep.
The music hasn't stopped yet, but it's definitely getting ready.
Yeah, that's right. So we'll talk about the 22 and the 8 here. Probably nervous. I think the 8's on the outside looking in at the moment as well.
Both of them are.
They are?
Yeah, but
we'll talk about that later, so we're still digging to the race here.
The 8's teammate, would you get into it with him a little bit? I see he queued up.
I was confused. I don't know. We were running maybe 15th, 16th, and he catches me and doesn't even try to go to the bottom. Just drives into my left rear, down the straightaway.
Okay.
I slide into the half mark, and he's just on my left rear, like trying to get me tight. And I gap him. 4 or 5 laps later, I'm a little bit too tight. He's kind of moving around. He gets me again, doesn't even try to go to the bottom, squares me up again.
Did you piss him off or something?
That's what I was wondering. I'm like, why is he not trying to go to the bottom? If he gets door to door with me even, I'll give it to him. But he's like showing a left front headlight just on my left rear when I'm running the top for like 4 laps. Hit me in the middle of the corner. I'm like, now I'm like, stop it. I'm mad. So he shoves me off into one. Like, right. I catch it right sides up in the gray and woe it down enough to where I get a drive off. And he was right there.
He was still behind you?
Yeah, still behind me. So down the front straightaway, I just give him the top. And we roll through 1 and 2 side by side. And down the whole backstretch, I'm like, okay, what am I going to do here? Am I going to back him in the fence? Do I shove him like he's been shoving me for the last 5 minutes? Or how about this? I'm going to enter in the top lane, and I'm going to let him turn enough to where if he wants to back himself in the fence or not, I'm just going to run the top.
Give him the option.
I'm going to give him the option. So what's he going to do? This is my line. Here you go. And didn't even touch him. Here you go. How's that? I'm sorry
you
about
didn't
that.
touch him?
No. I was just on his left rear tight.
I
was just trying to rattle his cage.
You think it's some residual left over from kickball? Because he was kind of mad at kickball a couple of years ago.
He doesn't take losing very well. I don't think whether it's on the pickleball court, on the kickball field.
He's very competitive.
Very competitive. Well, we all are competitive.
I
Now, I might not have hit him, but I was damn close.
Okay.
But,
hey, man, it's your story. I'm with you. I got your back.
And also, I didn't drive in the back of him. I just stayed on his left rear. So
that was something that I saw a lot of. The 5 did it to us earlier, and Ryan got really mad about it, is the guy on the bottom where you'd want to enter, they just stay up, an extra half a car.
Yeah.
Stay up there and
yeah,
run,
you're already free
just
to
take your
begin
angle
with.
away. Because the move was to kind of get that big arc on the top.
Yeah.
And then just
Get
do
there.
the merge down.
Right.
Which, man, I thought it was really cool to see how it progressed too. How it kind of was that wide arc, and then guys were parking it on the bottom. Then you'd move up a half a lane.
Yeah.
The 24 made some time on the bottom. Then he got his stuff hot late in the race. So it was definitely exciting all race long. See the 4 car hit the 47 under caution. I don't know what happened here.
The 4, that was an
Oh.
accident.
Yeah.
So I think the 47 is just like getting his brakes hot, and that's probably one of the. Yeah, I don't know what Richard was doing there. He just checked up, and that's probably a little bit of like the 4s, like checking his water temp,
Yeah.
seeing what gear he's in, and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Luckily, there was no damage on the 4. You hate to just smash in the back of somebody like that.
Well,
You're not anticipating them like slowing down. I don't know if he was just getting brakes hot or what he was doing.
A couple things that can happen there. One, if you hit him wrong, it takes a bigger hit, but you can crush your snorkel in the front, not get enough air to the intake. The other thing that can happen is the splitter can come detached from the bumper, like where that seam is, it opens up, and that'll just make you dump truck tight.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's really bad. So then we move on to the 5 car.
Blistering fast all day, driving through the pack, backwards, forwards, jam it in here. Ooh.
That's a tough spot. So I thought that I saw.
This is the first time I'm seeing that.
I don't know. That's the first time I saw it.
So the 5 jams it in there. Middle 3, the 99 gets a little bit loosened on the left rear stop, but the 99 was also getting put middle 4 wide. But it was right where, so the 99, right when he gets off of the old asphalt, he's got a bunch of wheel because he's in the gas, like turn, baby, turn. And when the 5 is that tight on his door, that's going to induce a tight. So when he hits the old asphalt, he loses the nose and gets in the left rear of the 5.
The other thing I think that happened
tight
that no
hole,
one's
the
talking
5.
about, and it might not be directly correlated to this, but I do believe that the 5 used the 99 up when he was coming back through the field earlier.
Oh, so you think there might have been some residual?
No, I don't think that he did on purpose, but like the 5, I don't quote me on this because there's a couple orange cars, but I believe he got underneath the 99
and
in the
Denny
1 and just kind of did like the merge, like took his lane
This
away.
is mine.
And which Kyle was coming through the field. They pitted off sequence, thought they had a flat tire. They didn't. He ripped back through the field all the way almost to the lead, if it wasn't to the lead during that cycle. But when you get used up by somebody and they put you 3 wide,
Yeah, you're not going to give.
You're
them
not going to give them an
space.
inch, right? And like that, like you said there, when you don't give each other an inch, I wonder if when the 48 if the 48 packs air on his left rear, does that get him upset too, or no? That doesn't do that anymore.
It's not that. That's not as effective as it used to be. It's more effective
if you're side to side.
affected by being super tight side by side. You just lose the nose, which is what happened. It didn't look like the 99 got loose. It looked like he lost the nose.
Yeah.
Transitioning from the new asphalt to the old asphalt, and it was just enough to where the 5 tank slaps it, sits it on the left rear stop, and then you're just a passenger at that moment.
The 5 was frustrated with the 11 too earlier in the day, because they're just racing to put him a lap down, and he was just like, I know he's having a bad day, but
don't make my day bad too.
Yeah, so it's just they're in a pretty heavy battle for them two. We're in a pretty heavy battle for the regular season championship.
Yeah.
Then they wreck with each other, and now the 9 car is the points leader.
Clyde.
Chase from the same place.
Awesome chase from the same place.
Yeah.
Points leader. Where y'all at in points?
6th.
Okay.
Went from like 14th or 13th to 6th, which is a big jump. Like we were talking about during the race, we were running for points, so we win the stage, then we get stage points again, and it's your mindset changes quite a bit. But then to win, now you go, okay, now we can start working on speed and worrying about the playoffs and worrying about just getting more playoff points instead of having the stage. Or dude, this point in the year, if you are racing for those last 3 spots, you're already playoff racing, right? So by the time you get to the playoffs, you're burnt out of 8 or 9 weeks of playoff points racing, worrying about everything you do, and then you get to the playoffs and it's like, oh, you gotta keep going. Your nerves are already shot. But that's we did it 2 years ago with Ryan, and thank God we don't have to do it again.
So before we cap off here stage 3, stage 2, it went long, and there was some guys peeling off right front of his shoes.
Kudos to NASCAR for not throwing a caution there. They had opportunities.
They threw the one with the 31 when he hit the fence, right? That's the one that bagged us because it didn't let it cycle.
But was that with the 10 as well?
The 10?
There was something with the 10 that they were frustrated with, but
the 31. So here's the unfortunate thing, right? A guy, the instance of that's the stuff. That's where you're stuck. You ride it out. Let's just say you are going to go and you're going to commit to either you blow a right front tire or somebody else blows a right front tire. The 31 rides it out, blows a tire, brings out the yellow, and stays on the lead lap because that's just how it works.
Now, did his carcass come off onto the track?
I think he just hit the fence.
Okay.
And they throw the yellow. It doesn't cycle. We're stuck a lap down. 90% of the time you are able to take the wave because a couple guys that haven't pitted yet. I think the 77, the 47, there was probably 5 or 6 guys that hadn't pitted yet. Everybody comes down like they're supposed to, except Ricky and Mike Kelly because they knew that they had 12 guys that had been in front of them all day long trapped. They stay out. They adjust their which is the right thing to do. Not for my pit box or not for my trailer because I was hot. Because then it's the end of the second stage. You start the third stage a lap down, and your day's, unless you get the dog, unless you get an early caution, your day's done.
That's some next level stuff.
Yep. So that's what happened. The 47 stayed on old tires, trapped.
That's called defense, buddy.
That was good defense. That turned their day into a top 5 day. It really did. They probably would have ran 20th to 23rd. And it took a lot of guys. I think we had a top 10 car, 9th to 12th.
On that restart where the
we
47 stayed out, 24 run into him. So we got something keyed up here. It's coming to
restart here, I believe, to start the 3rd stage. Or maybe to finish the 2nd stage.
Yeah, this one the 47 stayed out. Oh, yeah, 24 sheared off the bottom again. That's, yeah.
Seen that movie
that's
before.
Okay, so that's the 2nd time in a row he did that because he did that on the restart where you were up there too.
Yeah.
Huh. I wonder if he just overcooked it or if his stuff wasn't.
It doesn't take much. I'm talking like 2 degrees of steering angle too much, and your rears go.
Yeah.
And then you're just a passenger, and you're just doing all you can do to gather it up. Back to repave. That's what we love about it.
That's what we love about it.
So final restart. This is still a long way to go because the last what?
Still 70-something laps to go. So we're on rights. There's 3 of us on rights. 12, 22, 47, 24 is the first one on 4. And I was like, Joey got a good restart. And I'm like, freaking Joey at new racetracks.
Mm-hmm.
Here he comes. And I know. Then Blaney gets a good run off of 3 years. Or off of 4. And it's, not today, Joe.
Not today, Joe. Where did Joe end up running?
6th. He only bled the 6th.
Okay.
47 did a hell of a job here. He held off the 24 for a while. He bled back to 5th. I thought that later in the run, the
Rights would fell hard.
I thought they would, but we were able to maintain. Once the 24 got clear with like 50, 60 to go, I was like, man, we'll see.
The lefts didn't wear though, so
yeah, they didn't wear, but like you just wonder what happens on heat cycles, right? Like, okay, or does it just give up all at once? Like it's kind of an unknown because even though they didn't wear, you hadn't run that many laps.
Yeah. Well, you had no data to look back on. What's a long run that's going to be 70 laps look like?
Yeah.
Balance changed quite a bit for us. Started pretty loose, swung to 3 or 4 numbers tight. Then once once you try to get some right rear heat built into it, then you started getting a little loose in. So the car made a bunch of swings in terms of balance over just one course of the run. We never got the yellow or the opportunity to race for the dog for the rest of the evening, so we were kind of stuck. But we got a couple of spots there at the end and finished P21 with, I thought, maybe a 13th to 15th place car with our Gamebridge Iowa Hawkeye.
Just looked good, man.
Camaro.
People
loved it.
Caitlin Clark said good luck to you as well.
I think that's a big deal.
Saw that video. Hell yeah, it is.
I mean, you can't open any sort of media outlet without seeing her face in a story these days, so she's pretty recognizable. Appreciate the support, Caitlin. Thank you. What else we got? So what's the post-race festivities look like for the 12th car?
So they moved Victory Lane.
You said you guys had PTSD from a couple weeks ago at Gateway. You didn't even jump off the wall.
It was like coming to the checkered.
Everybody looking at each other like, we got enough, Hassel, we got enough gas? Okay, we good?
No, like we all knew that. Well, with like 5 to go, we have these open mics, and Trevor goes, Chris, our gas man's Chris, my carrier Trevor goes, Chris, this thing full or not? but yeah, so
legitimate question.
Like we've been so close, and it's the same bunch that went through all the stuff in 2022, then came and won the championship in 2023, and then we've lost Atlanta so close, lost Gateway so close. There's like a couple things that haven't gone our way this year, so it's like a beat down dog, right? We're just like and we take the white and no one's on the wall, like we're just cleaning up, like acting like the race isn't going on. Then we win and everybody's on the wall and we're all just looking at each other like, are we sure it's over? Are we sure? Okay. And I was like, I'll jump off the wall. So I jumped first and everybody came and started throwing water. But it was like he was on the backstretch by the time we started celebrating because we were like, let's just make sure.
Yeah.
Timmy, we good? Timmy's like, we're good. We're like, you sure we're good?
Did we win?
But he's like, I'm proud of you guys. We're like, everybody kind of looked at each other.
Yeah.
All right, we did it. It's actually happened. Because, dude, 75 lap run on 2 tires, and you're just a race like that where a caution was gonna come eventually and it just didn't come. You're just kind of waiting, and as the leader on 2 tires you are a sitting duck. They're gonna do the opposite of whatever you do,
depending on the lap.
And tires were worth something, so you're probably gonna have to pit, but then if a couple stay out,
I mean, somebody blows right front, 10 to go, you guys stay, third on back comes, then you lose the race.
You're done.
Right? Or you guys come, everybody else stay, then you lose the race.
Yeah, you're done at that point. It's like the classic Richmond,
right?
Like you're screwed.
Yeah.
Especially with rights being an option. So, yep, we were all kind of, like I said, had PTSD from that, but it worked out. They changed Victory Lane. It used to, when we won there in 2015, which was cool. I posted a picture on my Instagram of our team from 2015. We won there with Blaney with the 22 Xfinity car. Couple guys still on that car. So that was really cool that we're still together. Go to Victory Lane. It wasn't in Victory Lane. They set up a stage on the front stretch, which was cool. I like that.
I like that too.
It's not like as intimate as Martinsville because where the stage set up was pretty far away from the grandstands. Like Martinsville, dude, you're in the grandstands pretty much. But it was still really cool. They had corn. We ate corn.
Was it delicious?
It needed some butter and some salt, if you're asking me. I took a bite of it.
Was it raw?
I didn't eat. It was cooked.
Okay.
I didn't eat it. I took a bite of it. Blaney was eating it. He's like, I'm hungry, man. I don't know how many hands have been on that corn, but good luck. But yeah, man, it was really fun. And it was, at this point in my career, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's just like relieving to win. It's like, thank God we did it.
Yeah.
Where like before it'd be like, yes, now it's like, it's almost like the expectations are there. Yeah. It's like, thank God we did it. We can focus forward and go and be on kill mode from here on out.
Yeah.
So,
you guys have been flirting with it for the last couple of weeks now.
Well, and that's something that we circled. It's one thing to be a good car late in the playoffs, right? Like a fourth quarter team. But if we're stronger through the summer, like we feel like we haven't been strong through the summer since we've been a team. We've kind of just almost taken the summer off, it seems like. But we wanted to be stronger through the summer. It does a couple things. There's some big races, right, through the summer. Iowa's always felt important to me because of the K&N days. That was one that you circled on the K&N schedule.
Yeah.
You probably feel the same way.
Yeah.
It's always one that was really cool.
Cool track, man.
We got Indy coming up.
Yep.
You want to win Loudon. These races are big races that you want to win. You want to win Chicago. So we kind of all got together as a team. Hassler got us all together this winter and said, what's one goal we have for this year that we didn't do last year? It's like, be strong through the summer as well. Don't just show up in the playoffs. Like, let's just be strong all year.
Awesome, man. Awesome job, guys. Way to stick with it all night, man. Great bounce back from Gateway. Good job, brother. Proud of you. We about being a team in the summer. We did it. Good job, boys.
And this is the first step doing that. And we have been, right? We were fast at Darlington, got wrecked. We were fast at the Coke 600, had some issues. We were going to win St. Louis, run out of gas, fast at Sonoma, just got a little bit off on strategy, still finished well inside the top 10, and then win Iowa. We're going to go to Loudon next week. You're going to have to deal with the Loudon Whisperer, Chris Bell, but we can win there as well. So, we're doing well. That's what you called him that last year.
He's unbelievable.
The Loudon Whisperer.
I don't know if he's ever lost.
Yeah. But before we get to Loudon, the question of the week.
Yeah.
Does Iowa need to stay on the Cup schedule?
No question. And I was bending Ben Kennedy's ear quite a bit this week about it.
Yeah, because, the thoughts are that the only reason Iowa's on the schedule is because Canada ended up not going through at the last minute.
I think that there is – I actually told him your point too. I said if you listen to Stacking Pennies, Ben, which you probably do, you would hear us every week talk about there are certain markets. We believe that there's a short list of tracks that deserve 2 dates. There's another list of tracks that deserve 1 date. There are also a number of tracks that deserve an alternating date every other year or every third year.
Yeah.
And on Friday, before any cars hit the track, I put Iowa in the group of an alternating race every second or third year with the Kentuckys, with the Chicagolands, with like a Kern County, with like, I don't know, fill in the blank.
I just like that.
I think, but no.
Hold on. I'm sorry.
Since then, it has moved up into the group that deserves a race every year.
I'm happy that I let you
finish that
thought.
Yes.
Because I was about to jump. Because like we talked about earlier, it needs a date every year. It needs 1 date.
Yep.
And there's only so many racetracks
just leave it in
the country that can accommodate a cup race.
Yep.
And we can spread out some of the tracks that have 2 dates. Kansas, grandstands are getting a little light. Got 2 dates there. If we go to 1, it'll inevitably fill up.
Yep.
Maybe we open Kentucky back up now that we have this new car. Maybe when the Chicago Street Course runs it's through its
we'll go back
course,
to Joliet.
We can go to Joliet. And we've drug some of the fans that we've made in the city out to Joliet because now this car is a great mile-and-a-half car.
Yep.
I love going to racetracks once. I'm all about it. Stand on that soapbox. But
so your Iowa is on the list. What are the
absolutely
Richmond, Dover?
Richmond go to 1. Dover's at 1.
Kansas go to 1.
Kansas can go to 1. I think
Pocono's good at 1.
Pocono's good. Yeah, like that's dude. Pocono used to be empty. We used to dread.
What about Vegas
Pocono.
twice? I like Vegas twice.
I like Vegas and this is like there's so many so many layers to the cake of who owns the racetracks and this. But I like Vegas once a year finale race. Like that's why I would love to go to Vegas first week in November and crown a champion there. Now I know that Marcus Smith owns the track and they probably won't do that because they usually do it at ISC tracks, but that's a racetrack where you have to have good team, good car, good driver. You're not going to look into it. So that's where I would see Vegas living one time there, and it would.
I also think that's probably what added to the championship prestige of Miami. You only went there once.
Yeah.
And it was the last one. You don't have previous notes from 6 months ago. It was, hope you brought enough.
Yeah. I think we go to Phoenix once.
I like the market. Don't
I like
love
the market
racetracks
too.
much. But
they sell out, though. Like, that always feels like an event.
yeah.
There's some places you go where it's like,
I agree with that.
You go there twice and there's not really anybody there. I like Martinsville twice, even though the short track racing there hasn't been great. It's like our field of dreams.
Yep.
And I like the super speedways twice. That's about it.
Atlanta.
Nope.
Yeah.
I know you run good there.
No.
One time.
I'm a oneer. I'm a oneer for Atlanta. I'm fine.
Oh,
with that.
okay. Oh, I thought you were saying you wanted to go there twice.
No. I think Atlanta's one. So there you go.
Yeah. Number 2. And we kind of touched on this, but just wrap a bow around it for me.
Hang on. There's a caveat to this question. It says, is this the perfect short track? I don't know if I consider Iowa a short track.
Yeah, we had this talk. I don't
think it is.
I don't know.
It's just a track. It's a 7/8 mile track.
It was the perfect short track for a 7 o'clock race on Father's Day. That
Mm-hmm.
worked out good this weekend. Let's not make it any more than it is.
Yep.
And I saw mixed reviews of this. We kind of touched on it. Just wrap a bow on it for me. Does the repaving need to be finished?
I was heavy on the side of yes, but to your point, I think that if they do repave it, then it becomes more and more one groove on the top, unless let's just assume for a second they go in there. Hey, we're going back. We're gonna pay both ends, make it look halfway decent, aesthetically pleasing, if you will. Don't look at me like that.
No, I was just looking.
No, you were looking at me
That's
like
just
that.
my face.
No, I could tell what that ugly face looked like. So let's just assume we go back for a second. They pave it. I think the distance between the bottom and the top, with potentially less guys running the bottom, would make it comparable. And I think it would actually make it good racing to where it wouldn't be single file around the top like a North Wilkesboro.
Yeah.
I think North Wilkesboro inevitably lends itself to guys creeping up because the radius of the corners are tighter and all the different factors. But Iowa, I think if you finish the top, it would give even more options and not turn it into a one-lane racetrack like we have seen some other racetracks.
Yeah. I mean, I would say leave it how it is and put the money somewhere else around the track. Like, cool something. I don't know.
Like what? Like a go-kart
Something
track?
for more fan experience. I don't know.
Or just pave it.
Or just pay the picker guys more. Whatever you want to do. But speaking of that, boats and woes, baby.
Right up next.
Join Todd Gordon and myself each week for NASCAR Inside the Race. We'll break down exactly how the race was won.
Plus, we'll dive into the data and go in depth on race strategies, penalties, and rule changes.
Catch NASCAR Inside the Race presented by Consumer Cellular each Tuesday on NASCAR's YouTube channel.
All right, guys, we're back. Pit road boats and woes time. This was the first race from the NBC/USA broadcast, and they wanted to introduce something in stage 2. Talking to Steve Letarte, he said that when they talk about how they're going to approach the season, they feel as though the stage 2 of a NASCAR race is kind of like the third quarter of an NBA or NFL game. Just a little bit, like not many storylines playing out yet, right? We're not into the fourth quarter. We're not to crunch time. So we want to focus on 2 guys a week. And they approached the 20, and they approached us if we would be down for it, with GoPros or cameras on the pit box, with the ability to talk to the drivers during a caution if it presented itself, in-car cameras. And, of course, we're going to jump on because that's pretty freaking cool. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for the fans to be able to really get another layer of in-depth, because most of the time, unless you're watching my in-car camera and you're listening to my radio scanning throughout the race, you don't know what's going on. You just look at the rundown and it's like, okay, they're having a decent day, they're having a good day, they're having a terrible day. You don't know the issues you're fighting, things you're trying to overcome. So I think kudos to the NBC team of installing this, pulling in for a green flag stop that ultimately kind of derailed our day once it didn't cycle around. Solid stop out of the fellas here. Little right rear wedge adjustment, one in the right rear, trying to get her to turn a little better on throttle. 9.4 on the old counter.
Don't cut the corner.
Don't cut the corner too purple.
Sparks fresh haircut. Got the line shaped up for that.
He's a haircut a week kind of fella.
Yeah.
And it was.
How can you crew chief and take a haircut a week?
It was tight and right.
I couldn't keep up with that.
It was tight and right. We were talking before the race, and I guess since it's on not network, since it was on USA, you can say the F word, and it's not bleeped, nor do they get a penalty or a fine potentially. Maybe that's false, but we were under the assumption, Sparks was under the assumption that he could say the F word and it'd be fine. Kim would have to apologize for it. I said, you can't say the F word, bro. Your mom would be mad at you.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't want to
Thanks for the reminder.
Mom.
Don't want to disappoint Mom. So that was cool. They followed us around. We didn't have very many woes overall in the Cup Series field. It was clean.
I had one stop I'd like to have back where just left fronts or the left sides at short tracks like this. The left side jack post is really low. The left side's tires are really tight in the fender well. I had one where when I pulled it, it got cocked and we lost not a ton, but a little bit of track position. But come back in, do 2 tires. During that segment, the 4-car dogs of the week.
Oh.
They had the best average. That's when they got them out in the lead. They had the best average of the day, 9.24. They're all fighting for jobs, like we said. They're a great team. Josh Berry had a great day. Hassler just had a better strategy. They lost a little bit of track position. Still finished in the top 10, but yeah, those guys have been really good. It's the second time in a couple weeks that they have been P1 on average.
Oh, do you know that crew?
Oh, Daniel Smith and the boys. Yeah, that's a crew that
that's been intact
really
for a
good.
while, right?
Yeah, they've been good. They lost their carrier. They've got a new carrier, younger guy, but yeah, they're a great team, and inevitably, are anybody that gets them, whether they stay in the house over there front row or get picked up by their teams. Hopefully they can keep that team together, but if not, all of those guys will make a team stronger.
Dogs.
4-car.
You get some dogs in that dog house, it's definitely going to be stronger, especially ones that can rip off. 9.20. Was it 9.2?
9.24 average. So that's a great day. Over 3 or 4 stops. There's a lot of teams. The 99 team's been really fast lately. They had a bunch of 8s. 48 team's been really good, and it's just been up and down. It's kind of who can do the whole race without having a 10. Yeah. Right. These guys are getting to where they're doing the whole race doing 8s. So it's just mitigating that, and I'm excited now that we've won. We can start working on top end speed instead of having a points race, so we can kind of let it eat. And I'm ready to go get after it.
Well, there may not have been woes during the Cup Series race on pit road, but there was some woes during practice. As we saw some tire failures, we saw a left rear fail on the 1. Now, generally those guys are on the razor edge of left rear camber and left rear air pressure and trying to squeeze as much juice out of that thing as possible, and it bit them. But instead of dragging around and dragging the floor pan and the rocker box off of it and probably not being able to I don't know.
You have to go to a backup car.
You got to go back. No, you'd have to do an unapproved adjustment. So wherever you would qualify the following day, you'd have to go to the back.
How easy is it to bolt a new floor on that thing?
It's easy, but you would have to go to the back.
Well, I'd say it's easy to bolt one on there, but the floor, dinging the floor up is worse than dinging up a quarter panel. All of your downforce is coming from under the car. So these teams spend hours and hours setting to the 1,000th.
Yeah.
The shape of the underbody. The shape is very important.
Yeah.
So what they're trying to do here with the 1 car, the reason that they put it on the dolly jack is to try and...
The old roller skates.
not
Where'd these
touched.
things come from?
They must have built them here in NASCAR. My question is, I appreciate what they did, and I was watching this live. I just don't understand why they didn't just double hook it like that, like the old school short track, and pull it in. I'm sure they have a reason why they didn't, but like I got a Stafford Motor Speedway shirt on. They got a bar there.
They'll double hook them every weekend.
Well, they either have a bar. They have a bar there, but they might have a beer that's called like a double hook lager. But
You don't want to be on the double hook.
For the amount of time it took to hook it to
took
this,
half an hour.
They could have probably just double hooked it and had it off of there. I wonder if that's something they look at, but hey, kudos to them. We're getting smarter as
the best
as a group.
The best tweet about it was the NASCAR chasm with that wiener dog with the wheels that had no back legs.
Dude, he was on fire this weekend. I saw another banger from this morning that made me laugh out loud. But
that's pretty. I mean, I don't know. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty ingenious little invention. I'm assuming the R&D Center built that, or Nitro, or whoever does fab work for NASCAR. Try to take care of. Now, that is probably only useful in practice, right? Because if they get that unit out in the race, you might as well just put it on the truck, go home. You're gonna be 30 laps down.
Well, in the race, you're driving your stuff back to the box. Hey, that being said, real quick, love the schedule this weekend. Love the 50-minute practice. Love qualifying Saturday.
Yep.
You got to fly out Friday morning, so it didn't kill you. I am all about that, and I think it made the racing even better.
I like 50-minute practices as well. So I hope we can adjust it. I don't know if this was the best moment of the weekend or the biggest woe of the weekend. But if there was one driver in the field that would be the Hamburglar, I would have picked Tyler Reddick.
Yeah, yep.
And he was unbelievable.
Well, the Hamburglar just looks like Tyler Reddick when he first showed up to his first Can-Am race at Rockingham, and he won. He had the same red haircut.
Flipping out the sides.
He looked exactly the same. He looks a little bit older now with the beard, and he's got his hair cut now, but he had that same – he's fit now.
Yeah.
But he's
a dad, and he's got a bod, so –
if they would have had him and then Freddie Kraft from the 23 dressed up like Grimace, it would have been real life. And I saw some weird-ass looking Ronald McDonald walking around track, too. It really freaked me out.
That thing's kind of creepy.
It did not like it one bit. I didn't like it, didn't love it, didn't want any more of it.
No. Yeah. Ronald McDonald is things nightmares are made of.
Who looks more realistic? Freddie Kraft dressed as Grimace or Tyler Reddick dressed as the Hamburglar?
I think Tyler Reddick could take that show on the road.
He might be able to.
He could go to kids' birthday parties.
Yeah.
He could be in a commercial. And on the TV panel, it said, Robbie.
Jeez Louise. Jeez Louise. But yeah, we have
I wish he would have had like the actual eye masks thing. That would have put it over the top.
That could have helped him.
But the hat was freaking a great touch, and the cape.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was a woe. I think it was
stuff
great.
You do for sponsors, bro. Stuff you do.
It's part of it.
You're always fastest chicken in the South.
Yeah, you're always working for somebody.
Yep, that's right. So we go to our Penny for Your Thoughts questions.
Hashtag. We got some good ones this week.
First one. We were going to touch on this earlier. Now we're circling back. How much panic is there for the 8 and 22 not being locked in to the playoffs and currently being out?
I'd say panic level is pretty high.
Yeah, it's the A team. Kyle is he just seems a little bit defeated right now, but you never he's one of the best to ever sit inside of one of these race cars, so you don't pull on Superman's cape. The 22, there's a lot of hope for with his teammates running so well. He's got some good tracks for him coming up.
Yeah,
solid day going at Sonoma. Obviously, they got off strategy and got wrecked. They had a good top 10 finish this past weekend. So
I would say panic for the 8's probably a 9 on the scale. I bet you panic for the 22. I think Paul doesn't get very flustered by much.
Do you think
I think panic over there is maybe a 3. I think they just continue to execute, and they feel confident they'll either notch that win column or point their way in.
Talking about panic, though, like the 8 team, do you think the expectations for the 8 team are way lower than the 22, with the 22's teammates both being locked in? The 8 team, the 3 car isn't. So
there's always that. You're always looking at that.
Yeah. Yep. Next one. How surprising was it that the track wasn't just one groove?
I wasn't surprised at all.
Now, that being said, did you think it was going to be before practice started? Because that was what everybody was saying.
No.
Coming off of that test.
Inevitably, it's going to get to the top. It's going to get I'm trying to think of how to articulate this. If it was only a Truck Series race, then it's a one-lane racetrack. If it's an Xfinity race, then it takes 3/4 of the race to get it to the top. If it's a Cup race, guys make it work, and they make the track wider.
Yeah.
The cars certainly drive differently, but the drivers know where the limit is, and they keep edging it.
Yep.
Edging it. When you only have 2 or 3 guys in the Truck Series trying to make a middle lane work at a repave, it's not going to come in. When you only have 12 guys in an Xfinity race willing to make it work, it's not going to come in. When you have 36 guys constantly searching for clean air and clean grip, it's going to be wide no matter where we go and how bad or how new the asphalt is.
Yeah. Next question, SVG. He was here last week, came off 2 great weeks. Do you really think SVG has what it takes to race full-time in Cup next year?
Yeah.
Absolutely. But he called him this week. He didn't answer, or this morning he didn't answer. So that's NASCAR in a nutshell, buddy. Win 2 races in a row. You have the nice sunset view off the penthouse, and then next week you are in the house. That's it.
As you push your wrecked backup car into the truck after chunking 2 of them.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
That's it.
But we all know, and you guys know, just from listening to him on the several times he's been on the show, he's got a ton of mental toughness, a ton of mental strength, and confidence in himself. That 97 group is going to bounce back. And he's got like the 3rd or 4th most, maybe the 3rd most playoff points in the Xfinity Series right now.
He is running a full season of Xfinity for a reason.
Yeah.
Weekends like this are the reason.
And he's only halfway through his first season.
Yep.
It wasn't great this weekend, but this is really and truly the first time we've seen SVG look like a rookie that he's supposed to look like every week.
Yeah.
He has looked extremely good and extremely experienced in a lot of places, particularly Darlington, without seeing the place for a lap. So I chalk that up as a learning experience for SVG, and he's going to be nothing but stronger and more experienced after a tough weekend like this.
Last question. How does a bonus for a win work for pit crews? Do you get one? Is it the same for all teams? It varies by all teams. Ours is by car performance, so how the cars, if they win, how they do in the playoffs, if they win a championship. Some teams are based off of performance, so where you rank on yearly average, pit stop performance, pit stop time. Some guys only get paid for their car. Some guys get paid if their team cars win, if everybody wins. So it's all different. Every team is a little bit different on how they operate like that. It's kind of a big part of what the sport's become as far as pit crew pay goes, of like what different bonuses are like, and it evolves over time.
It's a competitive-based compensation business.
Yeah, I can tell you this. One thing I know for sure about bonuses, they are not as much as the drivers. So good. That is not even close. Maybe 1/100th of 1% of 1/10. That's it. That's all I got.
had to pull it out today.
You had to pull it out.
I feel like we have to get one in a show, even if it calls for it or not.
That being said, when you wrecked Joey Logano at Bristol last year, it really hurt my bonus. Just going to throw it out there.
I was backwards
This
the time
is what
he
I
hit.
sounded like at Christmas with my kids when they were looking for presents. And I said, well, Daddy can't buy any presents because Corey wrecked Joey at Bristol and knocked him out of the
With a
playoffs.
wilted-ass Christmas tree. Just a lump of coal, Kingsford coal underneath them. I hate that for you, buddy.
That's
sorry.
It's okay. Bill's in the mail.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. A lot of penny stackers this week, guys. Almost too long of a list that I'm apologize if I miss you, but there was a ton of 7 merch. I don't know if this was because people liked the Iowa Hawkeye scheme, but I would say that the majority of people that came to the fan experience for the live show listens to the show at a regular occasion. And there was people that I only get to see not very often. Tyler Turner, his wife, and they brought their little baby, Charlotte. She's like 2 months old. Super adorable, wearing a little Celsius car onesie. There was almost my favorite. There was a guy. Oh, it's in my backpack. I forgot to bring it. I was going to put it on the back set drop of the show. Some guy was in the background of the college game day holding the sign up that says "Put starters on sprint cars."
Amen, brother.
Amen, brother.
That guy, whoever you are, you're the penny stacker of the year.
team,
Kevin Swindell will be calling you soon. Pissed off, buddy.
Expect your DMs to flood. Our DMs are about to flood with a lot of pissed off sprint car fans, but I'm just trying to help to run a show.
Well, you could just reach over and start it, guys.
That makes too much sense.
I race a midget with a starter in the winter, and I race a midget without a starter that needs to be pushed off by a Jeep. The one with the starter is way more convenient. I'm just putting it out there.
1983 Jeep missing a headlight.
Just putting it out there. It makes it way easier. Don't at me.
I'm just trying to help.
That's it.
I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I just want to put 2024 technology on it.
Trying to leave the sport better than how we found it.
That's it.
Just
put a start. And that guy's on the leading edge, cutting edge. I'm telling you, he stood like this for 10 minutes.
How dare you stand not even an hour from Knoxville with a sign like that?
And then I believe we put it on my Instagram. Some guy made an absolute heater of a hand-drawn picture with the Celsius car, a helmet. It was the best drawing I've ever seen. It's the best drawing I've ever seen.
Yeah, the helmet was sick.
His name is Dre, D-R-E-I. Underdog Designs, maybe. Underdog Designs 2 at him. Told him, man, he can take Sam Bass's baton, pick it up, because there's not very many people doing freehand sketches like that. Would love to get him going, because he is certainly talented. Trudy, she gave us a gift card. Appreciate that. A lot of people added to the roll.
You keep it?
Yeah, I kept it.
Damn it.
I bought coffee with it this morning, actually. Threw a couple rolls of pennies in the bucket. So I would appreciate Visa gift cards over roll pennies. They just take less, and it's just better. But, I'm not – who am I to say? 50 cents can still go a long way in these days. Dakota. And Dakota's also a penny stacker. But one of the ones that really blew my mind is – I forgot their names, but they were saying that they were in the middle of a road trip. Not sure exactly where it originated from, but believe it was California. So they went to Sonoma last week, driving to Iowa, driving to Loudon, and driving home.
Wow.
Family of 4.
Might as well stop in Chicago on the way back from Loudon.
He said he's got to go work. He said he's got to be back at work on that Monday.
That's a cool trip, dude.
7,500 miles, dude.
That's cool.
He said in a cab over truck pulling a camper.
Huh.
Those are the fans that I'm like, man, you are the reason why that we were showing up.
Well, the race is just the reason to do it, but like the fun part is the journey.
See the sport.
Well, and see the country.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty cool deal.
Shout out to those guys. Those guys are all-star fans for sure. Definitely penny stackers. So as you're riding on the road, appreciate y'all for support. What else we got?
That's it, man.
Did you have any penny stackers this week?
You got new merch? You got new merch out? I got new merch out too.
Where do they find your merch?
Let's go. I will put a link on my Instagram. Go to my Instagram, you'll find it. Let me see that.
Well, we took the website down and we wanted to do a whole new run of merch for you guys. And t-shirt run number 1 is this. Pow! America. Summer, July 4th. I said it's going to have a bald eagle. It's going to have an American flag. It's going to have a Stacking Pennies race car. This thing's fire.
Did you get that idea from the shirt that you gave Daniel Suarez?
Kind of. I actually did.
If the bald eagle had a mullet,
I actually told. So Harris Lou designed this. I didn't even notice the bald eagle has a penny in its mouth. You kidding me?
Dude,
nice little touch. It's the little things. So
let me see that.
You can have it.
I want your sympathy shirt.
It's www.courtofthejoyracing.com, and we're going to be rifling off some cool hats, cool shirts, and the second run of the penny sunglasses from Johnny Flies are out too. I'm excited for y'all to see those. I was wearing those this weekend, and they were so sweet.
Johnny Fly don't miss, baby.
He don't. So that was a shameless merch plug. But you guys go check it out. We got a lot of cool stuff headed your way in terms of content, whether it's here on Stacking Pennies or on the Instagram. Continue to tune into @_Stacking Pennies for the Arctic Ice Cold Trivia. And also continue to follow us on YouTube. And also continue to listen to us on SiriusXM Channel 90. Wherever you find our Stacking Pennies, we will continue to do it each and every week for you guys because we appreciate your time. And I know I said it earlier in the show, but I am excited for next week. Because rumor has it, there's a warm seat that just got vacated that somebody else is going to be filling, and that guy filling that seat's going to be filling a seat right here in the Nonsense Garage next week.
Yep. Before then, you get to go back to the closest track to where the LaJoie.
It's almost a home track for the LaJoie
family racing.
I've won there a couple years ago as well in a Can-Am car. Dad's won there, so Loudon is an exciting place to go. Grandpa's going to take the trip out from Connecticut, so we'll be able to link up with him, see him.
Good news is you're not racing modified, so I don't have to do any modified pit stops.
Yeah, and I don't have to worry about staying in the lead lap under caution, getting a modified pit stop. So it's all good. Just one race and done at the Magic Mile. That's all I got. Tune in Thursday for more spare change, a little bit of Loudon breakdown. That's all I got. Solid week. Congratulations again to that 12 team. You guys earned it. Congratulations to you guys for this great content we continue to give you and your listening pleasure.
Forward.
Yes. And onward. Goodbye.